Hello Ratbags, it's Jade Games. Welcome to the Access Show. Today we're taking a look at Sea of Thieves. I finally got a chance to play a beta version of it. It's coming out on the 10th of March, so only a couple of weeks away, or less than that now. And I just wanted to give you my thoughts and opinions on it. I finally got a chance to play it. I missed out on lots of the closed alphas, and this was one of the last betas taking place. I think they've got one more. I just really wasn't too sold on it. That's why you've not seen much footage from me on Sea of Thieves. You know, I hype up games that I'm looking forward to. I'll show you trailers, I'll show you bits of information. And Sea of Thieves, I don't know why. I like the premise, I love the look of the game, but there was just something that was putting me off. I was worried it would be a bit of a bore for people that maybe weren't playing multiplayer. And it looks so far, just judging by the beta, that some of them things are still true. However, I did have fun playing it, and we're going to be going through everything. So we'll be talking as I'm playing it. I'll be showing you what I'm doing. You just saw the character creation screen. There are all sorts of different little presets you can make. However, I don't know if there's a button to see your character. Other than seeing your character's picture occasionally in the menus and stuff like that, you don't really get to see him that much. I guess it's all just about what it looks like to your teammates, your friends if you're playing online. After that, you start off in one of these little hub areas. And it's like outpost, and you go around and talk to people, and it's the typical sort of stuff. You get your quests. Now this is the main thing you're doing in Sea of Thieves. You are gathering gold. You're going out there, you're finding treasure, and you're bringing it back, and you're doing it for these factions. Now there's going to be 3 factions. In the beta there's only 1, but apparently it's going to be 3, and they have plans to sort of boost it more with more factions as and when it carries on going. Sea of Thieves is going to be an online platform game in terms of it's going to be an online service. That's what they've sort of promoted it as. A bit like Destiny, which I don't really want to mention too much, but that's their plan. They've got a 10-year plan about Sea of Thieves where they'll be adding more content. Now, lots of games still add lots of content and content patches, but to put 10 years on your game, I think that's pretty brave and ambitious considering it's the first from, you know, this IP. It'd be interesting to see how well it pulls off. Certainly when it comes to launch, hopefully there's going to be lots of side quests, hopefully there's going to be lots of missions, hopefully there's going to be a variety of things to do for single player and multiplayer. What I got from the beta first off was I really like the look of it. I really love the art style, I really like the character design, I really like just the animations. I really thought it was cool. It's pretty simplistic. There's no like huge melee combat sort of situations where you're blocking and riposting or anything like that. It's simply press one button attack, and the guns and stuff like that are very simple as well. But I liked it. I just like the art style. I really like the world, and when you spend a bit of time in the world with some sound as well, it reminded me of playing Red Dead Redemption when you're out in the desert and you can just hear stuff. And that's what I liked about Sea of Thieves. The sound, the environment was pretty cool. Hearing, you know, the environmental sounds and little creatures and the slap of the water on the boat or the wood and stuff like that was pretty cool, pretty decent. I played it on my own. I played it for about an hour and 20 minutes. I didn't come across a single other player, which was a bit disappointing. I really did want to see if I would get raided or plundered, or someone would maybe try and team up with me, and that didn't really happen too much. You've got lots of little bits and bobs. You've got equipment chests, you've got items you can have. So you've got your spyglass, you've got a compass, and you can buy all sorts of different things to boost and buff yourself. It is going to have DLC or microtransactions, and these microtransactions are going to be purely cosmetic supposedly, so they're meant to be only cosmetic, just for the look of things. However, in game though, I felt like some of these items surely would have more use. Like if you're going to buy a spyglass, you want it to be upgraded, especially if you're spending 1400 gold on it or 2000 gold. So I'm not too sure how that works just yet. I couldn't get enough gold to buy something and see if it really upgraded me or not. And then there's all things like you can buy different ships and stuff like that as well. You get to choose between having a schooner, so basically you or 2-man crew, or a bigger, larger craft, which will need a good 5 people playing it. And that's why, again, I'm going back to why I wasn't maybe hyped, because unless you're playing this with a big group of friends, I'm really worried it's going to be really boring pretty quickly. I enjoyed going out on my own, and as you'll see from the video, we go on a little venture, we find some treasure chests. Getting used to the controls was a bit fiddly, but they're pretty simple really. You know, you've got to pull up the anchor, drop the anchor, and then you've got to set your sail, and then that's it, you're away really. But doing it on your own, that does become more of a chore. When you're trying to look at a map, when you're trying to get your bearings, when you're trying to find something, there's no waypoints. You can't put something on there and it just magically appears in front of you as you're steering the ship. You've got to keep coming back down to check the table. Unless I was doing something massively wrong, I couldn't really tell. But the map is pretty large here. And you can put points of interest on it. So you can click on something and you're going to be going to that point on the map. But there's no way to steer you to that point when you're actually driving. So there's a lot of looking around, a lot of looking at your compass, and I like that. I like that. It's a bit more involved. I think that's good. But for a single player person, it often meant I was leaving the controls of my boat to run downstairs to look at a map, and surely I maybe would have had the map near my steering wheel up top or something like that. Who knows? I don't know. It is a beta. The developers, I've seen lots of interviews since saying there's a lot more to come. They've got lots more interesting things happening. There's going to be these random sort of loot drops or loot adventures where you go and get loot, and there'll be more warnings, information about players being on islands and capturing loot. So if people are getting something like a rich bounty, a big massive skull will appear above an island, letting players know that that is like a really high value loot sort of adventure or loot drop. And you put your stash of Captain Bones, you put your mission down, and if you've got more than one teammate, then you vote on what you're going to do. So you put 2 different quests down, and everyone has to vote on what they want to actually go for first. So you can see I'm pulling up my little mini map, and this is the map it's given me with that traditional X-Master spot. And we've just got to find this island, and that's no small feat. The map itself, the large world map, has got lots and lots of islands. So trying to work out which one's which. Some of the quests you get are riddles. They're not necessarily maps at all. They just literally tell you to go to this place. Some of them are really more riddly-like, and you're going to have to work out exactly what's going on. It took me a while to work out how to get going. I was like, oh, what am I doing wrong? Why is it not going? I've pulled the anchor. Why is it not steering? Come on, ship. But obviously you've got to set your sail down. I'm a complete noob when it comes to sailing. I know nothing. I would love to learn though. I'd love to do some videos where we're all just talking in pirate. I would love that stuff. We've done that on Ark Survival Evolved once, and that was one of the most funnest videos I've ever recorded. So I'm dying to play this with some of you ratbags and some of my closest friends as well. I think it'd be really cool. And so finally, putting up my actual anchor, we finally take our voyage, our maiden voyage across the seas on adventure, looking for treasure, looking for encounters, and it's lacking. It's really lacking. The time it takes for you to get to certain islands, now there are lots of islands, and you can go to smaller islands right near you, and there's different outposts as well, so you don't always have to traipse all the way back, I don't believe. But you could spend 20 minutes on your boat going to a location with nothing happening. You know, there's nothing strange happening. There's no getting attacked by other players. I do believe there's got things like krakens and stuff like that, but there probably needs more enemies. There needs something. There needs more sharks. There needs something more attacking you. I think the weather needs to be really dangerous. Like, you know, if you see a storm coming up, you really would have to consider going into hiding. I do believe that water does sloop onto the side, so if there is a huge storm, maybe that does work that way, and you will have to actually, you know, keep bucketing out your water during the storm, and that makes it interesting. I feel like it's hard to be judgmental on this, as I only played around 20 minutes of a beta, and obviously there's a lot more to the game than a beta, but you can only go by what's in front of you, and it was just lacking. There was just nothing to do. You know, you've got the little things where you can play music on your bagpipes or the little guitar style thing, whatever it was, but yeah, there was just nothing going on. Supposedly you can buy pets. You'll be able to buy little pets, and some of them run around the ship, some of them run around your shoulder. Maybe that would be interesting. There needs something. I don't know, you know, it's not a grindy game. You're not out here to go harvesting. You're not here to go collecting wood, collecting stone and building up a base. I'm not expecting that type of gameplay, although it is hard breaking away from them type of games, because that's what I'm used to playing. So, but you need something. I don't know about a grind, but I don't know, maybe more achievements, more trophies, more points, markers saying, hey, you've travelled X amount of nautical miles, or hey, you've managed to go 3 days without getting wet, or, you know, something, you know, spent 10 days sailing the seas with no land point. Something to pop up to give you a feeling that it's not just about going from A to B and getting to B, and that's where the fun is. You know, you want the voyage to be the adventure. Now, I think when you play multiplayer, that's going to be hugely different. You're going to have your friends to talk to, you'll be mucking around, you'll be worried about stuff. Maybe you will come across another boat, maybe a ship, and you will decide to go raid it or have a battle or a war. These things are all exciting, but the game developers have said it's about 15 to 20 minutes they expect an event to happen. So they expect you to run into someone every 15 to 20 minutes, maybe a bit longer. And like I said, I played it for a good hour, 20 minutes. Now, I've done 3 sort of voyages, I've got 3 chests, I went to 2 different islands, and nothing happened. No one attacked me. I didn't even come close to seeing anyone. To be fair, I didn't really go towards like the biggest islands. I think there's probably a few islands that I know are supposedly are guarded by skeleton crews, so they may shoot at you if you get closer to them. But the only enemies I encounter, which you'll see in a second, are the skeleton men. When I did come across something like the Sunken Grove here, this island, it was nice how it popped up and it made me feel like, ooh, I want to go exploring. And the islands are okay. You know, it depends on what time of day it is though. If you're going in night time or it's just a bit of a cloudy day, everything does look a bit muted and not as bright and not as fantastical, I guess, or as nice an art style. Stopping your boat is a problem, which I learned to my own fault, because I had to go and spend a lot of time repairing. As you can see there, I just went smack right into the land. Drop your anchor first, people. Always drop your anchor first before you do anything else. That's my top tip. Drop that anchor. This is a good mechanic. I love this. I love the idea. Now, if it gets too full, you can lose your boat. And I don't know what happens when you did lose your boat. I should have maybe tried that out just to see what happens. But, you know, I've eventually worked out how to repair it. And you're going to be doing that a lot. I had to do that quite a few times through just me smashing my boat up because I can't drive for shit. And I like that aspect. I thought that was quite interesting. They have said there'll be more quests involving like all different types of things, like transporting goods. So some of these goods can't get spoiled by water, so you really will have to be careful. Some of these goods may be animals and they may drown if the water goes too high. So that's really interesting. That's the kind of stuff I'm looking for in terms of quests being different. Rather than just go and get this treasure chest, bring it back without getting killed or attacked. Something that makes the actual journey more dangerous or makes it more heightened. Like, you know, you've got precious cargo and that cargo has to be treated more specially. That is the kind of stuff I want to see. And I think it will go well if it's doing that. But playing it on its own, it just felt a little bit, yeah, like just not enough rewards. You know, if you haven't got the camaraderie, if you haven't got the fun from playing with friends and talking to your friends, then you do need something to make you really play it. You know, you need something more. And the loot is great and everything else, but again, there's no upgrades that I could see. There's nothing, you know, getting a better cutlass, getting a better gun. When you're out and about on these islands, you can gain small resources, i.e. wooden planks, cannonballs, just to help you basically repair your ship as you go. You can't carry too many of these things. I don't know if there's going to be ways to increase your, like, how much you can hold, but there's a limited amount of number, which I think makes it good. It means you really have got to think about what you're doing, going back to your base or going back to an outpost and dropping off any resources or chests you've got, because, you know, you may get raided or you may run out of supplies to actually repair your boat. But again, there was nothing really else to grab. I guess I'm so used to gathering stuff and harvesting and grinding. It's just a bit strange to be going to an island and all you're looking for is these chests. Now that chest you might never have seen. It was just literally there. There was no signage. There was nothing clever to say there was a chest nearby, and I would have liked that. Maybe some more visual clues, maybe something, you know, more skeletons pointing the way with their hand literally pointing away out of a cage. This one is a drunken one. Obviously it's got some sort of power on it. Basically you pick it up and you're drunk. So it took me a long time. It's surprising how much disorientating that is, and obviously it makes you move left and right, so it's a bit hard to go through certain spots. So I've cut under footage there because that took me a good while, especially in water. Oh my god, this seemed to take forever to get from land to the boat. It looked beautiful. Like, I'm playing on the Xbox X, and obviously it's good, but when I put it through the Elgato, it still doesn't necessarily come out as good as it does on the actual, as plugging it in TV. So it'd be amazing. I can't wait. I'm desperate to get hold of a decent 4K capture device so that I can really start showing you guys 4K capture footage, because I think it would be amazing with this. But it looks great anyway. It does look fantastic. I really love it. I really like the art style, and it looks polished. There was a few like tessellation at the beginning there, the character creation. You saw sort of jagged edges, or it looked a bit glitchy or a little bit pixelated. I'm hoping that's down to just, you know, a few beta bugs rather than like the gameplay all over. Finally I come across a skeleton, and yeah, they're pretty easy to take care of. There is a chance you can get swarmed. More of them do start spawning. I think once you've picked up some treasure, they may start spawning more, although I can't confirm that. Found this little sunken area here, but other than a few skeleton men, I was kind of left just on my own, just running around. And I guess I want more. I just want more enemies. I want more diversity. I want more threats. I want there to be more dangers. Maybe some of the islands have got more like environmental dangers like lava or traps. That would be interesting if lots of the places have got traps. Maybe there's jumping puzzles and stuff like that you've got to work out. That'd be pretty cool, going to a grotto and then having to go through like a Goonies style series of traps and you know, obstacle courses to get to the treasure. That'd be interesting. But this was it. This was as interesting as it got, was finding some gunpowder barrel, and I don't think I even took it. I ended up dropping it because I didn't want to have to carry that and treasure. I found like this little bit here, and there was nothing here. There's no story element. The developers have said there's no story, there's no cutscenes, there is no single player campaign. It is, the story is what you tell, and they've explicitly done that on reason, and I'm not gonna lambast them for it, because I think sometimes we all do need too much story in our faces. You know, why can't we have a game where we make the story ourselves? But all games, all role-play games, open world games, do have facets. They do have things you can read. They do have little bits of lore chucked in there that you can examine. It just brings the world to life a little bit more. Even if you're not doing the stories, it still means you're in that world. And with nothing like that I could so far see, it seems, again, just a little bit lackluster. So I'm going to be using that word a lot. Lackluster is the word for the beta. I'm hoping that's going to change. I want more diversity when I'm on my own. I want more things to happen, events, whether it's, you know, diversity in the enemies I face. Maybe, yeah, and just see how it goes. I guess not every game is always going to be a single player game, but if you are going to make your game a single player game, which this is, you can play it single player, then it's got to be interesting. You know, you can't just say, well, you know, single player's there, but it's better if you play it with your friends. Well, of course it's probably going to be better if you play it with your friends, but that doesn't mean you dismiss what single player offers, or playing on your own offers. I think the pets might help. Anything to it. It's literally like the boredom of taking a journey on a boat on your own is real. That's a really good aspect and a bad aspect in this game. It's real because it's true to life, but it's bad because it's boring. It's a game. I don't want to play a true to life sailing game, otherwise I'd go do some sailing. But yeah, that's the way it feels. I think the multiplayer is going to be the most fun. Like, just getting a crew together, running around, pretending to be pirates, deciding whether or not you're going to take on another team or another crew. That is going to be so interesting. I can't wait for the fun to have with that. And that's what I always envisioned this game being, and I've kind of found that I was right. Everything I thought was pretty much true. It's just not a lot going on your own. But with friends, I'm sure this is going to be a hell of a lot of fun. So when the full games comes out, I will do a proper, more in-depth guide or review to it and tell you guys what I think about it once I've played it. And I do plan to play this a lot. I probably will be live streaming this a lot rather than just doing single videos for it again. But I'll have moved to my new house, so I'm going to have more scheduled time. So expect to see a lot of Sea of Thieves when it comes out. Remember, it is part of the Games Pass. You don't need to buy Sea of Thieves if you have the Games Pass. So if you have the Xbox Games Pass, you will get to play this on day of release for free. It's part of this thing. All exclusive Xbox games you can play. And yeah, I was trying to look for the treasure here, and I'm trying to look at the treasure map, and yeah, it's, you know, you've got to really measure up exactly where you are on the island and where you are on the map, and I'm obviously nowhere near it. These skeletons kept spawning, and yeah, there was no loot from them as well. That's what I wanted. That was the other thing I was going to say, was I want something. Give me something. Come on, give me even a bone. Maybe if you get 20 bones, you can make a bone necklace. Maybe you can make bone armor or a bone cutlass. You know, give us something in these bone men that we're killing. A souvenir, you know. Maybe if they have got a hook on them, maybe special ones do have a sword or a hook like that. Maybe you get to keep the cosmetic item that they're wearing, like a hat. That would be awesome as well, if they've just straight up got armour that you can keep, rather than having to craft stuff from bones or leather that they've dropped and stuff. So yeah, they do spawn quite a bit here. You can see my health down below. It's very simple. I like the outlays, the UIs and stuff like it. It was all quite simple. I liked it, and I've hit gold straight away in my first hit, and I got my chest. That was quite nice. Like digging up and going, oh yes, I found my treasure. Can't wait to get it open and see what it is. But you don't open it. You take all this stuff back to the hoarding company and you increase your reputation with them, and then they give you quests that are bigger, maybe more involved. And again, I felt like, no, I want to treasure myself. Let me open the box, goddammit. Don't look in the box. but I really wanted to look in the box. I really wanted to see some treasure, some gold treasure just lying in the things. But I guess that's not the way it's going to be. But yeah, there's going to be 3 factions. They're going to be adding a 4th one. If you become a legendary pirate after a period of time when you've got your reputation with all the factions high, you get basically access to a super club, a brand new hideout, and a brand new set of missions, and you're like a legendary pirate and stuff like that. And that'll be interesting. That'll be there. By now, I've got 3 chests. I've got 3 chests in my hold, so it's time to skedaddle. It's time to get out of here. You've got your ammo chest that you can refill, and I've got all my stuff, and I'm just flying back. And the water looks amazing. It really does. Like it's pretty. You know, if you're gonna ever do water, yep, Sea of Thieves has got water, hands down. It just looks gorgeous, and you know, it's different colours, and I just really liked it. I really like the art style, I do. The boat, the schooner I have here, it'd be interesting to see what it'd be look like on a big boat, and who's really going to take the role of captain, who's going to take the role of being the person who steers, who's going to be taking the role of the guidance, the navigation. That would be interesting to sort out in a team and stuff. Finally got back to pool and ungraciously just jump into the water because I didn't want to get too close and smash my boat up and sink it by accident. And yeah, just return all the treasure to them. You can see you drop it off, and you know, a little thing pops up. Well, well done, you've done something good. You get some gold, and then we get access to more sort of reputation missions or different types of missions. Once you've increased your reputation, you can buy little sort of they're little like commissions. Yeah, commissions I'd say is the best way to use it, and they will give you access to more stuff. And you see there's unlockable stuff there as well, like the clock and the pan, or whatever it is, not pan, the spade. But yeah, they just seemed a little bit meh. I don't know, I just weren't that impressed. And it made me go back to an island I'd already just discovered. One of the quests very early on was go back to that island where they had the gunpowder and a bit of a gulch and stuff like that. So I was a bit disappointed I couldn't just hand that quest in. I guess you really have to accept the quest before you actually hand in any treasure chests. Otherwise you'll find you'll be running around getting treasure chests and getting gold for it, but you might not necessarily be getting as much reputation as you probably could do. So, Sea of Thieves, lots of promise. I like it. I like the art style. I like the gameplay. I like the way it looks, the way it sounds. I like the thought of playing it with friends. Single player is going to be a real problem if they don't implement some stuff for launch or very soon after. I'm really worried that a lot of people will be put off by the fact it's just not interesting enough. There's just not a lot of variety in the missions and the tasks, playing it on your own or in, you know, a 2-man team and stuff. So definitely giving it a go. Let me know what you think. If you've played Sea of Thieves, put your comments down below. Let me know how you feel about the game. Are you going to be buying it on day one? Are you going to be buying it as part of the Game Pass? Do you want to play it with me? I will set up a Sea of Thieves channel in Discord. If you're looking to join and you want to play, let me know and we'll get ourselves a crew together. I'm Jade Plays Games. This has been Sea of Thieves review, thoughts, impressions, and I'll see you guys very soon. Bye bye.